Hey guys, it's Shirogane, and today I will be demonstrating Jonathan Jostar and his moveset and skills, and so you can get a feel out of him. So, the difficulty is set on easy so I can demonstrate it smoother instead of me getting beat up by the AI. And I do have a Speedwagon as a teammate, and he's easy on his own. So yeah. About Jonathan, what you should really do is focus on his hormone gauge, and you know his hormone gauge is right above his health, as you can see. So to charge it is to simply hold R1. His hormone does charge slower than usual, not usual, but than the other characters. And what the hormone gauge usually represents is his skills cooldown timer and how fast he activates those skills. So for example, we use his triangle skill, Zoom Punch. As you can see, the cooldown timer was ridiculously fast, so we can keep doing it. So now, as you notice, as the hormone gauge gets lower and lower, the slower the skill cooldown is. So it's always best to keep the hormone gauge as high as possible. And just to state that all skills do not activate invincibility frames. So, for example, I were to do that combo and connect it, it wouldn't act invincibility frames because it's just a simple skill. And now, his square skill, his hormone barrage, as you can see, the cooldown is fast. The lower it gets, the slower the skill cooldown is. And when it's really low, it takes a very long time to activate. As you can see, it took like a second for him to start the barrage, and that's not really good. So I'll demonstrate it on Dio. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Although it still connects, it's very slow, and it's not strong as it should be. So another reminder is to keep the home gauge as high as possible. And his O skill is possibly his best skill, along with the L2 skill, for they are the same. The L2, the circle skill sends an AoE on the ground and stuns everybody. Now, necessarily that's before the patch it was unblockable. So if I read the L2 skill, it's unblockable, so no one can really block it. But that mostly affects players, because players will usually try to jump out of it, and by jumping removes invincibility frames. So that's a good way to get someone back into a combo immediately right after you knock them down. So, and his X skill is this skill, and you can infinitely loop this. Not infinitely, but you can loop it on a wall crashed enemy because it keeps going and going and going. So his X skill is that. His R2 skill is this as well. It's just an advanced version, it's faster, and he gains super armor. So if we exploit the green bars in the bottom left corner, we can loop this a matter of 3 times on a wall crashed enemy. So let's try on Dio. So L2, R2 to get out of it. See, that does amazing damage. I like a lot of damage. And yeah, Dio gets the last laugh. So yeah, all his skills require stamina and hormone to be sufficient. And another thing about his character is that his dash is slow to start up, but once he starts running, he actually runs longer, and his stamina gauge depletes slower than any other character. So this is kind of unique to him. So as you can see his stance, he's doing the football thing. Although it's very slow to start up, he does get super armor for 1 hit for this. So if anyone hits him, he does endure it. But let's say Zeppeli throws the hormone cutter at him, and the second one hits him, he will get knocked down, but he will eat the first one. So again, if you look at the PS4 pad, we can do the pose. And as you guys know, poses make everything spammable. You can literally dash out of everything. So let's try that again. You dash out of it and keep doing it constantly. And if you are in Final Stand, you can loop this for an eternity. But the thing about that skill, what CC2 nerfed about those type of grapple skills, is that they do not destroy a health bar. So they do not destroy a health bar. The only health bar it can destroy is the final health bar. And we will kill cars so we can get them back at full health. Because I'm actually surprised that we have a DHA. Yeah, just murder him with pluck. So his playstyle is very tankish, and what the fuck is happening to Speedwagon? He's camera shy. So yeah, Jonathan is very tankish. He can endure a lot of hits, but he has regular health, as is anybody, and Stroheim has the lowest health. So again, Hamon. In certain stages you will be at advantage, right, Cairo rooftops, because we are very far away towards the enemy team, so you can actually fully charge this. But as you can see in the Jostar mansion, we just part ways from nearly a whole way down, so that's not enough time to fill up the gauge, especially if someone is going to protect you and they can just literally just bash into you. And if you notice that, well, this is going to be kind of hard to do, but if you hit somebody from behind, it actually stun locks them. So that means that you can actually bump into them, jump, and hit them. See that little symbol that just shook? That means that you did a surprise attack and you'll be able to do more damage. And another thing about Jonathan is that unlike DOC, he can pick up stuff. Jonathan can actually pick up certain stuff too as well, because he's superhuman. And all throwable objects are unblockable. And since Jonathan is human, and all human characters will be getting eaten by zombies, except for vampires, because vampires aren't affected by zombies. So Jonathan's main purpose is this. It's best just to go around and put influence on everything of the Hamon. So anyone that can just run up to it and just get shocked, and that's just a free combo. So again, we can loop this. See, that's 100% health. He's very powerful. That skill in particular is very powerful. And since it's a grapple, it resets invincibility frames. And for his combos, as you can see, his square triangle is a knockdown. It has remarkable range, and it's very surprising for him to have that. But yeah. Again, all Hamon attacks do get stronger the higher the Hamon gauge is. And all combo skills that have Hamon influence will do higher damage. So his square triangle is a knockup, and you can follow it with a square in the air after a jump. And his square is a knockback. Speedwagon kind of fucked it up, but that's something you can actually do, because there's plenty of enough time. So yeah, Jonathan is a force to be reckoned with. And another thing, if I have 3 bars, yeah, CC2 kind of ruined that. There used to be a bunch of times where that's ridiculous damage. That's very overpowered, but Jonathan does deserve it. Yeah, it does have short range, that skill, but it can be looped in a matter of ways. So let's try to get 3 bars and try to link a combo with the DHA. So now we have 3 bars. And what people usually do in combos is, because they really don't know this, is that everyone does a DHA right after that punch. But in reality, you can actually do a DHA right after this attack as well. After the second strike, you can link in DHA. And it just does more damage than the 4th punch. So that's good. That's a good way to use a DHA as well. And you can't link the DHA with the third hit because it is a knockback, so just avoid that. Only if someone is against the wall, but this attack usually wastes enough time so the enemy can be free, unless you combo out of it, but that's really a waste of a combo breaker, so it's just best to do it after the second Pluck strike. So for example, if we do the... See, that he takes too long to get out of that frame, so it's not good to connect to DHA after that. So remember just to keep the hormone gauge up and link as many skills as possible, and save your combo breakers for the X skill and the R2 skill. And also his he has a square triangle in the air that does a force knockdown. It leaves him knocked down for a while, and it leaves a hormone damage over time on him. And the difference between his O skill and his L2 skill is that the O skill takes a longer time for him to get out of that frame, but this L2 skill makes him get out of it faster. Because for instance, if I try to combo into it with the regular O skill, see, he's already falling, and I can't really combo into it unless I combo breaker out of it like this. But that's a waste, so it's best just to stick with the L2 and keep your hormone gauge up so the L2 cooldown can be quickly used again. So yeah, Jonathan is a great character, and a lot of people don't use him because he's plain. So yeah, you know how people can get with that type of thing, the character select. So yeah, let me know what kind of character you want review next. I'll do any character you want, and if by chance no one wants any character, I'll just go from Phantom Blood to Battle Tendency and so on. But if you guys want to see a specific character, just let me know, and I will gladly deliver. So yeah, this is Jonathan Jostar, the Pure Bay.